That's what it's all about, writing, creating, songwriting. Hopefully we'll come up with something that you're going to like to listen to or dance to. That's what it's all about. Right now I'd like to feature our band, Vida. We're from Grand Rapids and we're a four-piece. We got my cousin Jesse Marino out playing drums and singing lead vocals. Got Junior Ortiz, Jose Ortiz, that's what he likes to be called. And he plays guitar and lead vocals, and then we got his brother Ed Ortiz on bass guitar and lead vocals, myself on the keyboards and guitar and lead vocals. So we all sing, we all do backup, we enjoy doing it. And we're going to feature a song right now that Jesse and I wrote. It's called Far Away. And keeping in mind, we're no Lennon and McCartney, but we try. And as Richard Marx always says, you got to write 100 bad songs before you finally hit that one that makes it. So here it is, Vida and Far Away. It goes like this. Well, what did you think? Kind of far away from being a hit, huh? Well, Jesse, we better start writing number 101. Next, from the southwest of Grand Rapids, we got a four-piece band, which means if you have one of the members, you got a quarter of the band. Maybe that's how they got their name. Here's the quarter band. So what do you think about local bands in West Michigan?
There's some good ones and bad ones. unfortunately, a lot of the bad ones have got all the work.
What do you attribute that to? What do you think?
No money. They work for $160 a night, $150 a night for 5 people, 4 or 5 people. That's not a lot of money. Sometimes you got to do that, I guess. We try not to, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
You blame that on the bartender or the bar owners because they don't want to spend it.
Well, you know, it's really hard to say, but I'm sure part of it is that way. But they got a lot of expenses to meet too, but it doesn't help us any, you know. So there's got to be a point where we can make more money because the beer prices always go up.
That's right. You're not always appreciated. Sometimes you are. You can usually tell on the first set. You usually try to play a lot of your more complicated pieces, you know, something that really shows what you can do. You try to do those on your first set so that you can see if the people appreciate it. And a lot of times they do, though. I don't know, at least for us, I've noticed that they do. But now when you get to the third or fourth set, they couldn't care less who's up there playing by that time. But really, if you really want them to show the appreciation, you almost need to do it, you know, at the start of the night. And that's really about the best way to do it anyway.
Hey, you guys ought to release that as a single. This song didn't give the guitar player a chance to really do his licks. You ought to hear this guy. I've heard him. He probably taught Satriani a lot of licks. 3 of those guys are brothers. Can you guess which 3? Well, moving right along, we're going to go visit a distant friend, Midnight Rider.
Well, we're working real heavily in the club circuit around Grand Rapids. Whenever we can, we try to do a concert here and there. We did the Special Olympics last year, opened for the Oak Ridge Boys and Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at DeVos Hall. Possibly we're going to be doing some more concerts out at Club Eastbrook in the near future. Have some things coming up as far as that's concerned. Well, we've been together since '84. The name's been out there since 1984. I think that longevity has a lot to do with it. Of course, the longer a band's together, if a band's together a year, usually they're considered a good band because it's hard to keep a band together for a long time. You know, it's not a real easy business. We try to keep writing new material and learning new songs and going into the studio and keeping active as far as our current repertoire and our writing's concerned.
Don't you think there's don't you think there should be more support for local bands like yourselves, especially you guys are in the studio recording new material, original material, songwriting, and once you have that recorded, you have a master. What could Grand Rapids do to promote that? And you see
WCZ Radio here in town, Ed Buchanan, program director, has been real supportive of local talent. We've got a lot of support from CUZ as far as airplay. They've been real supportive of us as far as country. I used to play in rock and roll bands, and that's a different story. It's really hard to break into a country or a rock and roll station or a top 40 for some reason. Country seems to be more down to earth and open to new ideas and new artists. I think there, as you can see in the Nashville scene right now, there's probably more new artists breaking. Like Garth Brooks, he's got the #1 pop album. It's been on the charts for like 10 weeks or something like that. And he's also got the #10 on the pop chart, in Billboard magazine. So, country, a lot of new artists are being introduced into country music, and it seems to be more open to.
Well, the biggest thing is that you got to put something together and you got to stick with it, and find personalities that work together and set some goals and work at it, and try to get as good as you can as quick as you can. There's not a lot of places to play, but the people that stand out are the ones that are going to get noticed. And some of the ways you can do that, just try to be as professional as you can in everything you do, related to the business. When you set up, when you tear down, in your performance, and the way you handle yourself with the audience and club owners. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're a major star, whether you're, still playing clubs like we are. See the same people on the way down that you meet on the way up, and you got to treat everybody right. And you just have to conduct yourself like a professional and give something people to remember about you that's good, and that they, will think well of you. And if you got all that together and the music's good, then you're going to succeed if you stick with it. At whatever level you decide you want to succeed at.
This band and working with this band is pretty much the best group of guys I ever worked with, and we all get along great. And the crowds in the bar are a little different than I'm used to, and I kind of like getting out. And some of the shows we did, I just never thought I'd ever be in a band that, went as far as we have, as far as open up for main acts and things. And so the crowds do make a big difference. I love the crowds. That's also a new experience for me, hearing the song on the radio. But really, the video helped out a lot and got us going. For some of our shows and stuff, it's a good promo pusher, and big step for us. I think Distant Friend was a song that really pushed us over.
Well, I'd like to see us go, full time if possible, and start, doing some touring, or, whether it's opening up for some other major acts, or, hopefully becoming, a big act ourselves. We just have to keep pushing on, and I'm gonna hang in there as long as as long as it's going good.
And we thought, we rearranged it quite a bit and put harmonies in the beginning of it. And thought it was a catchy song in the first place and played with it a little bit and kind of gave it our own slant.
Where did you record your Smoke Workers?
Out at Elbow Studios, yeah. Here in Grand Rapids, out on Plainfield.
So it's all locally done.
Yeah.
And the video is...
That was shot at DeVos Hall. We did a concert at DeVos Hall about 2 years ago, I think it was, and had a bunch of footage shot there, and that's accumulation of the
So
footage.
this video we're going to watch is totally West Michigan.
Totally West Michigan.
I still feel the past each time you touch me. Will the fire in your eyes never end? I'm so afraid our love may turn to ashes. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend. Like a muddy river running wild and deep, you've got a flame in memory that keeps burning me. Just when the sun is shining, I'll step in. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend. Well, it's a major heartache when you lose your trust, and the love you're feeling, well, it begins to rust. Just when the sun is shining, I'll step in. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend. I still feel the past each time you touch me. Will the fire in your eyes never end? I'm so afraid our love may turn to ashes. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend. You know I really love you, but your heart's confused by that aching feeling. Oh, it keeps haunting you. Just when the sun is shining, I'll step in. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend. I still feel the past each time you touch me. Will the fire in your eyes never end? I'm so afraid our love may turn to ashes. Well, I still feel the shadow of your distant friend.
Well, we started our band as a lark. There were two of us. Both of us were reporters at that time for the Louisville Times, and we discovered we played guitars. I didn't play very well. He played quite well. He was a musician. And we started playing and figuring out songs, and it was just enormous fun, a good time. And then another reporter decided to be our agent. In fact, he showed up that first night. He got us a job the first day. And he showed up that night with his shirt unbuttoned down to his navel and had chains on and everything, playing the part of an agent. And it was really great fun. All of our friends came. And, well, as time went by, years went by, we got more serious. And we added people to the band. And suddenly, instead of just the two of us plunking on a guitar, we had 5 people. And we had jobs to get and jobs to fulfill. And we started arguing about which direction we were headed. Should we be more country? Should we be more popular music? Should we be contemporary? Should we work in jazz? And it really got to be frustrating. And I couldn't really be the musical leader because I wasn't capable. I had to memorize every song we did. So the dissension started, and we had one guy that started playing chords. I knew when I sang that something was wrong. But I'd say, is anybody playing a weird chord in that? We didn't do that before. And, and nobody ever answered. And so one night we were playing the Hyatt Regency in Louisville on the mezzanine. It was a good job. And a friend of mine came by, and it was the first time he'd ever heard us play. And he was sitting out in the audience, and I saw him there. We took a break. And we had just gone, in fact, through one of those songs where I thought the thing sounded funny. And I was getting frustrated. I mean, hey, you go to work in the morning at 8 o'clock and you get off at, say, 6. Then you go to work at your nighttime job at 9. You get off at 2:30. And all of a sudden you realize you have no life. You're getting tired. You're walking around like a zombie. And that's the state of mind I was in on this point. So anyway, I went to have a beer with my friend. And I said, what do you think? And he said, you're pretty good. You're a lot better than I thought. But who does that guy playing the guitar over there play with, that blonde-headed guy? And I said, what do you mean? He plays with us. And he said, no, he doesn't.